Alright, we won the die roll. We're gonna play first. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a keep, alright. Alright, so it's consuming fervor here. In for 6. Play a Kopesh and pass. Alright. Wait, no attacks. So they're gonna double block here? Well, let's punish that plan. So we go Cartouche. You can't block. Equip. Attack for 7. Still. I see. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, the crop captain's only going to get weaker, so I guess I offer the trade. Wish I could do something a little bit sexier here, but this'll do. So we'll get in. I feel like it already did its job. So, what did my 3 cards do, basically? My 3 cards killed a Crocodile of the Crossing, a Hooded Brawler, and dealt 6 damage to my opponent. That seems fair. That seems pretty reasonable. Man, can you imagine if I had a Brute Strength, too? Alright, so we'll go Inciter and we'll equip it up. I think all in all we got a pretty fair deal out of that. I guess I could have sandbagged the cartouche for the trial. That's alright. That doesn't seem necessary. Alright. Alright. We'll attack and then play the Binding Mummy. Opponent's deck looks pretty sweet. Looks like something I would draft. Bitterblade Warriors, Hooded Brawler, Crocodile, just a bunch of good, efficient beaters. Actually, I wouldn't play Watchful Naga, but that's alright. I still think we block here. They get to draw a card, though. So they got to their 6th drop, unfortunately. So let's go Monument here. And we'll pass. Alright. Looks like we're probably going to lose this game, but I think it's only because we missed the land drops. We were actually doing insane on 2 lands for most of the game. But we just couldn't play spells anymore. So I can play Sure Shot and then get a 1/1. Not particularly sexy, but I guess so. Alright. Let's concede. I don't even think I'm dead, but I don't think I can come back. And I don't want to show him any more cards, so this is definitely looks like a winnable match. I know I say that all the time, but come on. We all saw what was happening. I didn't draw lands and then I lost. It's pretty clear what happened there. So let's just run it back and win. Alright. Play first. I don't love this hand, but we're going to keep it. And we'll start it off with the Insider, too. I think that makes more sense. In case we rip one of our, like our Honored Crop Captain, that'd be a good rip. Alright, opponent mulls to 6 and then snap keeps. So they debated on that 7-card hand for a while. It must have been close. That was a good draw. Alright. Yeah, we're curving out here. I like it. Ooh. It actually does put a stop to our attack here for now. Ooh, Ketra's Monument's nice, though. And then what, next turn I can play this for 3 and this for 2. That's still not quite enough, but that's alright. We're going to play the Monument here pretty clearly. So let's get the Elite now, because I can actually attack with it. Without any exert. And then I'm just a land away from playing 2 creatures next turn, and then we really get to go off with the Elite. Vizier. Alright, copying our Top Crop Elite? I could see that. Fanbear. Alright, I guess that sort of makes sense. Put a stop to our Elite. Alright, we'll take that. Unfortunately, the Labyrinth Guardian is doing much more than I like to see here. Ooh. Well, compulsory rest, I guess, does put a stop to Hooded Brawler, but I think we're just going to play those who serve and then leave up our Fanbearer. That sort of makes sense to me. So we're just going to swing with the Elite. And we'll pass. Tap their Fanbearer, untap. So this is actually kind of cool. Compulsory rest here. They just sack it. So they don't get to gain the life, which is actually really nice. And then we're going to just do some exertion here. Actually, makes much more sense to do this. Does it not? Alright. Seems pretty good. So they can get their Labyrinth Guardian back and then leave up Fanbearer, which is actually fairly reasonable. Looks like that's what their plan is. So they can tap our Sure Shot, I guess. But then they only have one blocker to our 4 attackers. So they go to 1. That's acceptable to me. Alright. I think we're playing land anyway, just because it's another Sure Shot pump. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright. So then they have to block those who serve to not die, which means they go to 1. Which means they're in pretty serious trouble here. That doesn't work. Alright. Game 2 is ours. So they have a Zir, many faces in there. Their deck is good though. They have a lot of efficient creatures. They're doing the Alex Stephenson method of drafting, which is go cheap. Go real cheap. Alright. I guess it's not the Alex Stephenson method. I was actually trying cool stuff in this format until I got wrecked 1,000 times by aggro decks, and I was like, okay, maybe there is something to this. So Forsake the Worldly, does this do anything? I don't think so. I think we just do her again. Oh yeah, we have a Glorybringer in our deck too. I think I have to mull this. I've been burned too many times by the 5 landers. Especially on the play. Yeah, I've just been burned too many times. We need something better. Alright, this is 1,000 times better, so we're going to leave that on top. Unfortunately, it does not work the way you want it to. Alright, that's actually still pretty good rip. because we can go elite into elite, which seems pretty good. So we'll Vizier. Yeah, I think we will exile it. My thinking is, even though it comes back untapped, they're playing a creature here anyway, which they are. But actually, since that's a 3/2, maybe I would have preferred the Guardian just taking 2 and having the Guardian be tapped. It's probably not a big deal either way. So, now we can go elite. And get in for 2, I think, only. Not quite ready to go off just yet. So let's see, next turn with the hastiness, I could get in for 10. So I think we're still just swinging for 4. Alright, take our medicine. Vizier, copying. The Brawler, that's interesting. Bit unexpected, to be honest. Ooh, Trial of Solidarity, that's a nasty draw. It's a very, very nasty draw. Next turn, too, with the double exert. Holy jeez. That's just absurd. Alright. No exert. No exert just yet. Not quite yet. Next turn's the nasty turn. That's where we turn the nasty business on. What do we got? Ooh, Drake. Perfect. Nothing to fear. Yeah, they're in huge trouble now. They're just in huge trouble. We do this nasty business, and then we just double exert is so nasty. So dirty. Just +4, +3 to the team. Yeah, that's a bit much. And then next turn we just get to double exert again. How filthy is that? Plus if we top deck a creature it gets haste, plus double pump. Top deck a cartouche, play it, replay trial. Top deck a Glorybringer, kill something. Alright, they've decided the block, so they think their best course of action is to just take 12, get something off the table. Which, I mean, they just don't have good blocks, so they wanted to get something. So we're trading our Inciter for a Shimmer Scale Drake. and then they take 12. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh yeah, they go to, yeah. That's pretty good. So the question is, if they double exert some hooded brawlers, they get in for 10. Say they have a synchronized strike. They would need a synchronized strike plus another pump in order to kill us. It seems fairly unlikely that they would have that. The question is, how badly do I need my Vizier of Deferment here? I don't actually know. I feel like having 3 creatures is much better than having 2, though. When your opponent's at 1, and your opponent's got 3 or 2 creatures that can block. So really, it's like, do I think they can pump 5? I don't think that they can. And I would rather, I think, keep my Vizier of Deferment. I guess they would just need a synchronized strike plus a shed weakness or something. Like, they have to attack here, because they're just clearly dead. So the only way that they could come back is if I don't block. Alright, I'm just going to take 6 here. Really? Alright, well they don't have any cards left in hand, so I guess we're still okay. But we can't attack now, so I have to play the Takrop Elite and then pass. Alright, well, opponent made it about as interesting as it gets, but thankfully we got there. So we'll see you in round 2.